Today I am reading again in the book 1 Month to Live, 30 Days to a No Regret Life. How many of us would love to know the next 30 days we can live it regret-free? Boy, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? To where we don't make any mistakes and there's just no regrets. Boy, when I look back at my life right now, I think of so many regrets that I've made in my past, especially towards my children. And I wish I could relive my past in so many ways. The first thing that I would change is the way that I spend my time. The Bible talks about our time, and King David, we're going to do 3 scriptures today. We're going to do Psalms 39, 4 through 5, James 4 and 14, and Ephesians 3, 18. I love Ephesians 3, 18. But David points out in Psalm 39, 4 through 5, you have made my days a mere handbreadth, the span of my years as nothing before you. Each man's life is but a breath. It's gone. That's how fast our life really does flash before our eyes. But a breath, is the way King David explained it. And to live that breath with no regrets would be such a blessing. I know whenever I was raising my children, the regret that I have, like I said, is time. You know, being a single mom, as most of you out there are, we don't have the time that we need. All of us are given 24 hours. But it seems like we've got to work, and especially as a single parent, it's just so hard to get everything done. For me, with my children, I worked 2-3 jobs. By the time I got home, I was exhausted. I worked a full 8-hour job, then I'd go clean houses, then, you know, I had 3 different jobs going on just to make sure my children had what they needed. Not what they wanted, mainly what they needed, just to make sure we had clothes, food, roof over our head. And I remember my grandmother, poor old Ma, she was always like, Sharon, you need to quit working and you need to spend time with your children. Just spend time with your children. They need you. Well, as a single mom, you can't just quit your job and spend time with your children. Man, I would have loved to just spend time with my children and quit my job, but finances just wasn't there for me to do something like that. And now I look back and I try and relive those years through my grandchildren. And I'm quite sure my children are jealous of their children. Because if I would have had a book that said, you know, this is the way you're supposed to be a parent, I would have been so much different. Things would have been so different for me and my children. But I didn't have a book. You know, when you have a baby, there should be a rule book right here of how to be a mom, how to be the perfect mom, or how to be the perfect dad. Boy, if there was a book like that, we would just be set, wouldn't we? Well, let me tell you. Spend time. If you still have children at home, treasure those moments with your children. Even if you don't have much money, it doesn't take money to spend time. Just spend time. Go bake some cookies. Do some coloring. Ride a bike. Go for a walk, you know. There's things that you can do that does not cost money. And kids, they don't want the vacation. They don't really want the money. They want your time. That's what they want. James 4:4, the Apostle James echoes pretty much the same thing that King David said. He said, you are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. King David, he said it was a breath. The Apostle James, he calls it just a mist that vanishes. One thing that, like I said, I miss spending quality time with my children, and we really struggle giving each child undivided attention, you know. It's hard to do that. give that one child the attention that they deserve, especially when I have 8 grandchildren and I'm trying to divide my time between them. And it does get hard. We struggle with that. But my daughter, one thing that, you realize when you're facing death, and my daughter, she brought this to my attention, you don't really realize how much people really care and love you until you're about to die. I remember my daughter going, man, Mom, if it wasn't for this cancer, I wouldn't have known that all these people loved me and cared for me like they do. I was like, baby girl, we all love you so much. Her and I, we butted heads so much because we were both the same. We were both born in July, so we both were the Cancer sign, and we were so much alike, so we butted heads. We couldn't be in the same room for more than 20 minutes together without having an argument. But we loved each other. I still loved her, and she never realized just how much she needed me and how much she meant to me until the last couple of weeks before she died. Then she realized just how important her life was to all of us, to everyone around her. So let's not take for granted the time that God has given us to spend with someone. We need other people in our lives, just as God has created us for relationships. Here's another scripture right here. It's Genesis 2:18. It is not good for man to be alone. I will make him a helpmate suitable for him. In other words, you're not meant to be alone. You are meant to spend time with other people. Have people in your life is so important to each and every one of us. Mother Teresa, she said that loneliness is the most terrible poverty there is. Can you imagine loneliness being worse than poverty? Well, she's right. Without love, we are emotionally bankrupt. We were designed for relationships, for fellowships, for quality time. That's what we were made for. And what so many of us, we don't understand is love. When I'm talking about this spending time, love and that quality time, you can't put a price on it. It's immeasurable. You try and put a price tag on it and it's not there. You cannot go off and buy someone a vacation or a toy or something like that. You can't put a price on it. It's priceless. But it carries a price, and it's a very expensive price. And it's called sacrifice. Love always means risking pain. Let me say that again. Love always means risking pain. When you love someone, you're putting yourself on the line, knowing that I'm going to get hurt. One day, this person's going to die. My mom's going to die. My dad's going to die. My child will die. I'm going to die. There's going to be loss. There's going to be hurt. There's going to be pain. But you can't look at that love and that friendship in the way that you're going to lose them one day. You've got to cherish the moment. Make memories that will last forever with that person. If we're going to love other people, we have to endure the heartaches as well as to celebrate the sharing of lives. Then we will need a greater love than our own to do this. We need to experience the fullness of God's love for us in order to die to our selfish desires and give freely to others. However, we must look to God first. And that is so important. Loving unselfishly, the way that God loved us. When we look at God's love, He gave His Son, His only Son, so that we could have life and have life more abundantly. Barbie, my daughter, the other day was talking to her husband and was really starting to doubt her faith and everything, because she just, we all knew God was going to heal Tanya. Man, there was so many people praying. We knew Tanya was going to be healed. There was no doubt about it in our hearts. But Mama had prayed, and Mama had told God, no matter what it costs, my daughter's got to be saved. That unselfish love, no matter the cost. Just as you gave your son on the cross, I give my daughter on the altar. And through her death, Eduardo told Barbie, look at what's happening. Tanya's death is just like your mom said. It's for God's glory. Look around you. Look at what's happening. Your dad's going to church now. Your brother-in-law and his children are going to church now. Your sister-in-law is going to church. God is doing a great thing. But it took a loss, sacrificing, to reap the reward that God had for us. God saved my daughter. God healed my daughter. God said that he would heal her, and he did heal her. She's alive and well in heaven. And her death was for his glory, just as he had told me that this sickness would not be unto death, but for his glory. And she's not dead. She's alive forevermore in glory, and I am so thankful for that. And Ephesians 3:18 talks about God's love. God's love is so far beyond comprehension. In verse 18, we see, it says, what is the breadth? Or what is the width? When we look, the width. What is the width? And what is the length? And what is the depth? And what is the height? Man, when you get that, you got the cross right there. How can you measure love when it's got no end? It's as high as you can see, as far as you can see. It doesn't matter, vertical, horizontal, whichever way you go, as far as you can see, it's love. It's God's love. It's God's mercy. And it's so important that we spend that time and have that love relationship with our family, with our children. Take time and smell the roses every day with your children. If I could relive my life and change one thing in my life, that one regret that I have is I would make more time with my children. I would change it. I would change it. Because time is what they want. You cannot put a price tag on time. So today, just take your children, maybe bake some cookies with them. Take them for a walk. Take them for a bike ride. Just spend time with them. That's what they want. They want and long for your time. And that's all. Just your time. So be blessed today. Be encouraged. And know I love you. And Jesus loves you. And make the best of your time, because as the psalmist David said, King David, life is only a breath, then it's over. And as the Apostle James echoed as well, it's only a vapor. It's just a mist, and then it's gone. Cherish every moment you can and make the best of it. And I'll talk to you later. God bless.